Hey, what's going on? It's Stokely from Sauce on Delay. I've been talking about erectile dysfunction a lot, and I've done interviews with at least 2 doctors. Not on my own, not for my own glory. It's all for the glory of God. But their producers, their PR people reached out to me, and I got the opportunity to talk to them. But it didn't go very much in depth, too much. If you want to research their products, you can look into it. But and their solutions and their perspectives, you can look into that. But they didn't really address what I was looking into myself, which was lack of libido, and mostly lack of libido, and yeah, that's really what it is for the most part. So through my own assessment and trying to consider all the environmental factors that could be causing these things, and all of the nature, or the environmental factors, right? I was looking into so many different things, and then one of the things that I encountered recently was that peppermint, right, or spearmint, spearmint tea, which we drink, right? Makes you feel good, soothes your stomach, gives you a little tingly feeling. Peppermint tea kills bacteria that helps to produce testosterone, right? And peppermint tea consumed for something like 15 days daily increases a woman's estrogen levels, and helps to relieve symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome. Imagine that. So I've banned use of peppermint. Well, I've stopped drinking peppermint tea. That's what I've done so far. But I'm wondering, and I went a little further, I'm thinking, peppermint is one of the ingredients I use in Sauce on Delay. Lavender is one of the things that I implemented, I integrated later on. Tea tree is another thing I integrated later on. And I'm finding that tea tree and lavender, they can act as estrogen mimickers in the body when in contact with the body, right? They can act as estrogen mimickers. Now, estrogen mimickers for men can cause things like infertility, gynecomastia. I don't pronounce that word right. And that's not good. So it can physiologically mess you up in that capacity when it comes to fertility, and even your aesthetics, so one of the, tea tree, lavender, peppermint, these things, when it's plant-based and a plant-based extract, it has a very short half-life for the most part. You know what I mean? Your body probably processes it and eliminates it within maybe 24 hours or something like that. Maybe, right? But when it comes to synthetic phthalates, like the ones used in fragrances, like perfumes, fabric softener, hand soap, all of these things, tissue paper, wet wipes, when these things are in contact with your unmentionables or your skin and gets absorbed into it, it has an effect. It could mess up your endocrine system, right? They're endocrine disruptors, okay? Phthalates. That's why everybody's raving about it. And I've seen some formulators, some cosmetic formulators online trying to push back on clean cosmetics. They're pushing back and saying, no, there's time to use synthetic stuff. There's one guy, he put out a post saying that clean cosmetics is dead. In protest, I unfollowed him. I didn't give a comment because I'm fasting from commenting. I wouldn't have commented anyway because I don't want to get into any kind of confrontation. I don't know the guy personally. I don't have any time, I don't know the guy personally. It would have just been a boost to my ego to respond to him and express my disgust. It seems like, I'm not being mature. I'm just on a little fast right now. But more mature people didn't detract. Only people who were supportive of his perspectives, comments, were in the comment section. So I just subtracted myself from that environment, that kind of whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm not canceling the guy. I'm not doing anything. I'm just not supporting him. I'm not giving him validity by increasing his number of followings. He has over probably 16,000 followers. Anyhow, get back to us. Let's forget about him. So, and he's not the only one. There's a young lady that I know that she has a factory that makes, that formulates and produces for other brands. And she was saying, there's nothing wrong with SLS, and there's nothing wrong with all of that. So anyway, whatever, I give them the liberty of the fact that I don't know everything, so I don't have any time to really argue with them. There's different times when I'm pro peppermint, and there's times when I'm anti peppermint, right? Because peppermint is good for killing certain bacteria in your gut. But if you're a man having libido issues, erectile dysfunction issues, you probably want to stay away from drinking peppermint tea on a regular basis like I used to do. But anyhow, I used to use Dr. Bronner's, sometimes still do, Dr. Bronner's peppermint hemp Castile soap. Been using it probably consistently for the past 8 years, right? And haven't been using it for about 3 months, right? And in the past 3 months, sometime I have felt almost like my normal self in regarding libido. Now, I'm not going to attribute it just to Dr. Bronner's, subtracting his product from my repertoire, because I've done a million other things. I've stopped using deodorant. I've stopped. I wash my tea bags off before I put them in my tea, and I try to put the water in first and then put the tea bag on it to try to minimize. And then I just kind of I use my upper lip like a skimmer to not drink the water off of the top of the water, so that I don't get the microplastics as much in my digestive system. Anyway, man, I've done so much things in my showers with cold water. One day I'll publish all the things that I've tried in order to restore my, try to get back to my former self, my former glory. But what I wanted to talk about is probably the beginning of the year, probably in around springtime. This guy named Kashkari Official, who I follow on Instagram. I don't always agree with what he says. He says some far out stuff sometimes. I just don't have the knowledge yet on some things, or maybe he's wrong. He could be wrong too. But anyhow, I still follow him because, it's just freedom of thought. It's different from another guy saying clean beauty is dead. What do you mean clean beauty is dead? Clean beauty means, and I'm going to rant a little bit. Clean beauty means a lot of things. Clean beauty means this product specifically hasn't been tested on animals. And when I talk about SDS sheets and I talk about different ingredients, I've mentioned that a lot of these ingredients have been tested on animals in the past. So we have the results of the animal testing. We don't need to do animal testing now. There's a guy who I follow online named Dr. Shiva. He's developed some kind of software or program named Cytosolve, which he purports eliminates the need for any animal testing. Anyhow, so the technology is out there. So anyhow, so when you say you're anti-clean beauty, that means you're pro-animal testing. Maybe you're not pro-animal testing, but clean beauty, the term clean beauty incorporates not just plant-based extracts, it also incorporates no animal testing. So you don't like that? Anyhow, let's not make it personal, okay? So, moving along. These phthalates act as estrogen mimickers. They have a way longer half-life than plant-based estrogen mimickers like tea tree, lavender. Okay? So anyhow. But Kashkari Official, I don't know what his real name is, but his name is, you can look him up, Kashkari Official. Kashkari Official earlier this year was, he's trying to get you to go on his website and buy something, ultimately, but he gives you a little bit of information. He gives you value because that's a part of marketing. Oh, if people think that you're giving them value, they'll be more prone to make a purchase. So he gives value by giving you some knowledge, some research, some recent research papers, etc. And then that draws you in to potentially want to buy a product, okay? But that's okay, because you learn something. You don't have to buy. Anyhow, Kashkari Official put out a post saying there was a recent study, I'm paraphrasing, there was a recent study of the major essential oil brands, and they all came out testing positive for phthalates. And I said, what? Kashkari, man, what are you talking about, man? Get out of here, bro. I'm like, get out of here, bro. Come on, man. Not all of them, man. Every time you get on the internet, you want to say something negative. Every time you're on the internet, you want to scare us, man. No way. No way my essential oils got phthalates in it. These joints are plant extracts, man. They said it right on the cover. 100% pure. So, anyhow, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Maybe there's something about that, because I'm using peppermint and lavender in my formulations. I wonder if these cheap, I tried to buy the cheapest. Cheap sounds like a bad word, but I try to make my product cost effective. So trying to make the product cost effective, trying to make a hair butter, a 1 ounce hair butter tube, right, for under $10, right? With all the labor and all the ingredients and all the marketing and all the websites you gotta pay for and all the fees you gotta pay for and all that, and make it all come under $10, including shipping and all of that. I think it came up to about $11, including shipping, when I had it listed on Amazon. I got it down to $10 on Etsy. And if you bought it directly from me, it was $10 also. So it's the same price on Etsy. It costs a little more on Amazon because Amazon got crazy fees. So, in order to make a cost-effective product, you got to try to find the best, most cost-effective stuff. So I'm looking when I'm buying my ingredients. I'm looking. Does it say it's pure? Okay, it's pure. Are the people who are reviewing it saying that it works and it's good? Yes, they're saying it works and it's good. They're giving it 4.5 stars. They got 2,000 sales, and they say it's pure on the top, and the people are raving about it. Okay. So I'm like, okay, this one I can use. This is one that I can use, and I can give to my customers. I can give to my supporters, right? And I can use on myself and use on my family, right? This is what I'm thinking, right? But I just did a little query, found out, yes, there was a study done earlier in 2025 that found that 11 top brands of essential oil companies, right? Essential oil, brands, whatever, all contain phthalates, and they only tested peppermint and lavender. And peppermint and lavender are two things that I use, right? So I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so no, I'm still, withholding belief, or whatever they say. I'm still in disbelief. I'm still disappointed, and I'm in disbelief. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. were those percentages in the product, in the essential oil, like trace amounts that, maybe just got contaminated. Maybe it's just the cover of the thing is made out of plastic and it just seeped into it. Maybe it's just by accident. But no. Actually, the concentration is sometimes 13,000 parts per million, which indicates it's not by accident. It's intentional. So, let me see. There's 11 brands were tested. Let me see if I got all 11 brands here. Let me see what it said. Only some of them apologized. And they all said, oh, I didn't know, man. I didn't know. I'm going to look into it. I've been found guilty and I will investigate myself. So let's see. What are the names of those companies? Let's see here. It doesn't show me. Where does it? Just give me 1 second. If I can find it. Why can't I find it? Show all. No. It doesn't want to show me. Oh, I'm holding up the traffic. Let me just pull over 1 second because I can't find the information that I'm looking at. So let me do this right here. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to tell you what the 11 brands are again. One is Auracacia. One is doTERRA. doTERRA is not cheap, which I use some doTERRA. I have some doTERRA stuff. Rocky Mountain Oils. Cleganic. Cleganic is not cheap. I have Cleganic product. Nature Package. Revived. Young Living. Young Living is one of the more popular multi-level marketing ones that is, they almost have their own Facebook group. I was in a Facebook group. I don't know if I left the group, but nobody's been talking this year much. Mountain Rose Herbs. Now essential oils. Now I got a lot of oils from Now, just like castor oil and so on and so forth. I don't believe I have any Now essential oils, but Now is supposedly made in America. It's an American brand. It's not like shipped in from China. I think they package it here, but somehow you can go on Alibaba and buy Now bottled stuff. So I don't know if it's fake stuff or really they're just telling you that it's made in America and it's actually coming from China. Anyhow, another one is called Plant Therapy, and the other one is called Vibrant Blue Oil. So let me list the companies again: Auracacia, doTERRA, Rocky Mountain Oils, Cleganic, Nature Packaged, Revive, Young Living, Mountain Rose Herbs, Now Essentials, Plant Therapy, Vibrant Blue Oils. Two of these companies I know personally and I use personally, and they're expensive. One is doTERRA and Cleganic. I put Cleganic in my diffuser when my son is sleeping. That's eucalyptus though. I'm hoping that the eucalyptus is straight, but they didn't test. I don't think they tested for the eucalyptus. They tested, excuse me, they tested lavender and peppermint. I use Cleganic because I see the name, the presentation looks quality, the price is not cheap, the reviews are exemplary. But here we go. They're putting phthalates in it and exposing me and my family and everyone to synthetic stuff, which we're trying to avoid. The reason why we're using essential oils is because we want to avoid the phthalates. That's why we're going over there. But you're putting phthalates into it anyway in order to cut, what they would say, cut the dope. Like when drug dealers get drugs, they want to stretch it. It's like when people sneak out their parents' alcohol and pour some water back inside of it and put it back on the shelf. But in this case, it's a for-profit situation where they want to stretch the product by putting in synthetic, poisonous, hormone disrupting ingredients. I don't appreciate it. Okay. So, what am I saying now? Let's see here. What else? So, let me see. Yeah. Anyhow, so, I just came on to talk about that. I came out here to talk about what's happened. You know, I don't know. I don't appreciate that. I really don't appreciate that, because I'm putting my trust in them. My customers putting trust in me. They're blaming their suppliers and their supply chain and whatever. The upstream people, the people that's in a third world country, you know, pressing out these things. Who knows where in the supply chain it came. These phthalates were added in to stretch the product, or as the drug dealers say, when it was stepped on. We want the pure essential oil, pure plant extract, steam, whatever. So now we have to do a deeper dive into our supply chain as artisans. You know, some people, I mean, me personally, you know, I can't poo-poo on anybody, because they can just poo-poo on me too. But I list every single ingredient in my formulation. I saw someone introduced me to another brand of skincare product. I don't know where I put it. Where did I put that skincare product? I got it over here somewhere. The person is making a skincare product with, you know, the typical lexicon of skincare product, you know, shea butter, so on and so forth. I got it right here. Let me look at the ingredients. I can't really see it. Organic shea butter, safflower oil, mango butter, grapeseed oil, aloe butter, cocoa butter, beeswax, vanilla oil, and fragrance oil. So to end it with fragrance oil, right? That's poison, basically. That's phthalates. You should assume that it is, for the most part. If it doesn't tell you what these fragrances are, some people want to protect their scent, and they'll just say fragrance oil, and it's permitted per the FDA. You can do that. But when you see fragrance oil, it's like natural flavor, which we're now finding out that the term natural flavor is not even that. The term natural flavor should make you hesitate nowadays. You know. So in my world, clean beauty is not dead. In my reality, I'm not giving up yet. I'm not giving up on essential oils either. I just gotta find clean suppliers. Fortunately, when Kashkari has upset me before, I have unfollowed him, because I wouldn't have realized that, hey, Kashkari, you might be right. So I'm here making my hair product. I'm still using my hair product, even though I've pulled it from Etsy, Amazon, and my own site. I've pulled my product from. Even though I pulled my product for the past 3-4 years maybe, I still use it. So maybe I'm having all these side effects in addition to other lifestyle, environmental factors. Maybe I'm also being affected by my own product, you know, which contains peppermint and lavender, which could be causing, I don't know if I got gynecomastia. One person says I look like I got titties. So I never thought my chest looked like I had titties, but you know what? My perception of myself is different from how someone else perceives me from the outside. So maybe my pectoral muscles, or how my chest appears, is now appearing like gynecomastia. I don't have a problem with eliminating peppermint and lavender, because I think a better ingredient, or the ingredient that I really need, is rosemary. And I might just leave tea tree in, even though tea tree is an estrogen mimicker, but at an even lower concentration. So, you formulate and you're still learning things. And then you're like, oh man, I should have made it this way. Oh, new and improved ingredients. You know what I mean? And then you learn something else, and now you gotta improve again. Now you gotta revise again. And I want to have quality. I want to have something quality. I want to have something that really helps to nourish the scalp and promote hair growth. You know what I mean? Sunflower oil. Stuff like that. So, just by process of elimination, trying to find all the different factors of what could be affecting me, what could be affecting us all. I'm learning a lot, and it's disappointing, but it's good to learn anyway. So I'm glad I got the information. Shout out to Kashkari. Shout out to whoever did that research. Hold on, I think I have a link here to the research. Hopefully I'll remember to include it. Let's see here. Essential oils tested for toxic phthalates. Mammavation. There's a website named mammavation.com. I never knew it. It says essential oils tested for toxic phthalates guide. Right? Which brand of essential oils has the least amount of toxic phthalate contamination? I think this website, Mammavation, is Kashkari's website. I think it is. I think this is Kashkari's website, actually. Mammavation. I don't know why you call it Mammavation. Yeah, I think this is actually his website. So you can probably find it on his website, and I'll probably try to link to that. Oh, he's got ads running on it. Where does it talk about? I just want to verify that. No, it's not his website. He just links to the site sometime, because I'm pretty sure I got one of his emails and he linked to Mammavation's website. So I don't know if this is his site. I don't know. I can't say that it's his site. Okay. Mammavation has already released similar investigations on olive oil, coconut oil, tallow, ghee, and avocado oil to help your family lower your phthalate exposure. Now join us for our latest consumer study, testing lavender and peppermint essential oils for toxic phthalates. Blah, blah, blah. This consumer study is released in partnership with Environmental Health News. Scientific reviews were performed by Linda S. Birnbaum, scientist emeritus and former director of the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences and National Toxicology Program at Duke University. So the person who did the test seems relatively qualified, you know what I mean? I'm just going to link to it if you want to read it in the description. Yeah, and let's see here. I don't want to hold you any longer, but I'm just gonna link to it, and you can look into it yourself. I don't appreciate that. Cliganic, I don't appreciate that. Who's another one that I use? Now Brands. I'm disappointed in you guys. What's the other one? Cliganic is like one of the more pricey ones. And then what's the other one? I forgot. What's the other one that I got beef with now? I opened it in the same window, so I can't look at it now. No, I can. Here we go. doTERRA and Cliganic. Young Living. I'm disappointed in you also, because you have the multi-level marketing scheme going on, and you reach out to a lot of people. You reach out to tens of thousands of people. The other guys, Now Essentials, I'm not really surprised. Their stuff is pretty cheap. So these other companies, I'm not really familiar with. But hey, we're not gonna. It's not a knee-jerk response. It's nothing to get crazy about. But it's just something to know. It's something to be aware of. And you make better choices going forward. But thank you for listening. Bang.